Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, October 18, 2019. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. While credit unions in SVG are said to be making advances, there are some challenges and areas that have been identified as shortcomings which they must seek to address. These were highlighted during the Everett Dean Memorial Lecture at the Beachcombers Hotel last evening, delivered by Jamaican attorney at law Yvonne Redgar Harris, who served as first female president of the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions and delegate to the World Council of Credit Unions. Last evening's lecture was hosted by the SVG Cooperative Credit Union League and the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions. Larissa Pugsley Kidd tells us more in this report.
The four major credit unions in SVG have been urged to do more for their members to improve their standard of living. The appeal was made by attorney-at-law Jamaican Yvonne Redgar Harris, who delivered the keynote address at the Everett Dean Memorial Lecture on Thursday evening at the Beachcombers Hotel, speaking on the topic, Credit Union Philosophy in Motion. Redgar Harris, who served as the first female president of the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions, noted that the four major credit unions in SVG have assets totaling $148 million with a penetration rate of 65% of the total population. This, she said, is commendable for a small island state. However, she pointed out some areas of concerns, such as the democracy of their members.
I think all of us here would agree that board and committee members need to be fit and proper persons. However, I think the criteria needs to be applied prior to the selection of the board and committee members by the membership in annual general meeting, as has been the norm. They should have the last say in who should govern the credit union and not our supervisors.
The credit unions were also called on to create an environment that will enable members to easily access credit at low interest rates.
Credit union should always strive to ensure that it's offering loans at the lowest possible rate to their members. Also, even when your supervisors get on your case, to continue to provide unsecured credit for those who have no security. An unsecured loan does not equate with a bad loan. We need to ensure that those persons who have no security still continue to have access to credit. This is the only way that those persons will break out of the cycle of poverty.
It was noted that last year, credit unions contributed 22% towards the country's gross domestic product, which was more than the banks. Credit unions were also asked to work together, as they should not compete against each other, but rather to see the banks as their competitors.
Unions don't have to set up foundations like the banks do to give back to our community. It is a part of credit unions' raison d'etre to give back to its members and the community. The credit union movement, of which we are all a part, affords us the opportunity to serve our fellow man and make an important impact on their lives by providing not only financial services, especially to those who are underserved and marginalized and those who have no access to credit.
Redgar Harris pointed out that as part of their social responsibility, credit unions should educate their members on the importance of saving and assist them to become entrepreneurs.
Cooperatives, I now add that small companies should be able to be members of credit union. This will allow access to credit to small entrepreneurs who incorporate their businesses and need access to financing.
Thursday, October 17, 2019 was observed as International Credit Union Day under the theme Local Service, Global Reach. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley Kidd.
SVG joined more than 50 countries and territories today in participating in the third annual KPMG Cyber Day initiative in schools as part of International Cybersecurity Awareness Month. The Cyber Day initiative was hosted at the Girls High School, where cybersecurity professionals were engaged in a cybersecurity educational session with the students and teachers. A business advisor at KPMG, Taj Lee, said that young people are at greater risk today of being exposed to online pressures and dangers, hence the need to educate and inform them on cybersecurity.
We see that children fall prey to various cybercrimes every day, whether it's bullying, phishing, or so forth. Now, on top of that, if you were to look at statistics, approximately 47% of children in the United Kingdom spend at least minimum 3 hours on the internet per day. That's a considerable amount of time to be exposed to the threats that exist in this world, and as such we want to train various individuals and students especially ways in which they can protect themselves.
This is the second year the company is hosting the Cyber Day initiative at the Girls High School, and the company's manager, Kurtland Dishong, said that they are hoping to spread the initiative to other schools across SVG as they consider students as agents of change.
The internet can be a very useful place, but also a very dangerous place, and there are a lot of predators and threats out there hoping to catch vulnerable persons who may not have make sure that all their security mechanisms in place there. And we also have with us some pamphlets to give the students to take home to their parents, so that the parents can understand how to protect themselves as well, and also look out for their kids online, and could help to reinforce what was taught here. So maybe in the future we might do public forums to help to educate the public.
Some of the students of the Girls High School welcomed the educational session, describing it as quite informative.
I learned about phishing, the importance of having strong passwords, and also patterns that how we must have uppercase letters, symbols and digits as well. I also learned about the importance of ensuring that our computers are updated to the latest versions, as this helps protect our computers from viruses and so forth. I also learned about the importance of not writing down your passwords and keeping some information towards yourself. This is very important to me because as a young lady in society, the internet is a very dangerous place, and I think it's very important that we, not only as ladies, but we as young children, know how to protect ourselves in this dangerous world called the internet. I have a friend who had her account hacked, and in that situation I did help her out. We deleted the Instagram account and then we made a new one for her.
Youth, be careful of what you post on social media. Be careful what you tell your friends. Like, don't tell your friends your password, because for me, not everybody is your friend, and you might go tell the wrong person and they might go and do something that is not very nice. So just be careful what you do.
I should think before I post on social media, and before I type and text, I must think and be mindful of what could happen in the future.
The library has not lost its usefulness in schools here in SVG and the wider education system. This was noted by point person for the Hands Across the Sea organization, Edna Bullock, at a Teacher's Resource Guide workshop hosted today at the Girls Guides headquarters under the theme Connecting the Library to the Classroom. The workshop was held in collaboration with the Hands Across the Sea organization and the Ministry of Education. Bullock said that every child should grow up knowing the importance of reading, and the Hands Across the Sea organization, along with the Ministry of Education, have been working to equip students with the necessary reading skills so that they can function well in society.
This is a fast-paced world, and while change is inevitable, I want to put forward to you that libraries are not outdated. While we embrace technology and transition from books to tablets, iPads, and the host of names that the young people would know, the library still has not lost its usefulness. What we need is a change in our attitude towards the library. For the past 11 years, Hands Across the Sea has been sending brand new, asked for, amazing books that get children excited about reading.
Bullock said that a library shouldn't just be an isolated area or a quiet place, and teachers should find ways in making the library a fun place to learn.
This is why our school libraries must be seen as a treasured place where the experience of students are enriched and where the foundation of reading is laid. By the way, our new shipment of books is already here, and we just want the Ministry of Education to know that we are well on board with you in the drive to support those students who are lagging behind in reading. I want to really commend those schools who have gone the extra mile to work with us to make their libraries student-friendly. Anyway, after that hard work to rearrange, repaint, and get them looking attractive,
another member of the Hands Across the Sea organization and Literacy Link, Yvette Pompey, said the goals of the workshop were to provide evidence that reading is an important habit that children should develop, that teachers have an important role to inspire children to read, and strategies to get children more involved in reading.
How to use books in the library to teach, to model strategies and skills in reading, in language arts, and in all the content areas. Social studies, science, and health and family life, math. Reading is linked to math. Do you know that? Right. Next, how to use the TRG to teach lessons. How would you use it to support your lessons in your classroom? So you go to the library and you would select books, and the TRG would give you guidelines of how you can do it. And finally, in this workshop, we will provide you with an opportunity to create lesson plans and have some activities that you can use with books to teach reading, language arts, and all the subjects across the curriculum. Ideas that you can implement tomorrow or when you go back to school.
Meanwhile, Senior Education Officer Joycelyn Blake Brown said there are a number of primary school students across SVG who are reading below their grade level, which is a serious problem that must be addressed. In her brief remarks at the Hands Across the Sea Teachers Resource Guide workshop, Blake Brown said the goal of the Ministry of Education is to have every single child in SVG read at their level and above and create a culture of literacy.
Let's join hearts, hands, and willpower in creating a culture of literacy throughout Vinceland. By the way, the theme for ILA 2019, creating a culture of literacy. So we are basically adopting the same theme. As we reflect on our theme for independence, renewal at 40, if there is one thing we can pledge to do for our country, let's teach all of our students to read. I am going to repeat. Think about it. Renewal at 40. I imagine right there you should be thinking of the students who you have taught before, perhaps you didn't reach. Those that you have presently, you already see the challenges. Pledge in your heart that collectively as a staff, we are going to sit down and we're going to endeavor to ensure that every single child, Sandy Bay Methodist, Shatibile Methodist, Bukamen Government, Bekwe Anglican, Layu Government, pledging that we are going to do our best to touch every single child.
The Senior Education Officer used the opportunity to encourage teachers to play their role to assist students who are weak in reading so that they can develop their literacy skill.
When the students come to us from pre-primary, have them all the way up to grade 6, they go into secondary and onwards, we have to ensure every single child is given the opportunity to develop their literacy skills. I know that there will be children who have inherent problems, learning difficulties, and so forth. Outside of that, we are talking about students within the normal range who have no medical diagnosis. We are saying when they leave us, they must be able to read or have basic literacy skills. As teachers, as educators, when you see the students in front of you and they cannot read, go out of your way. I know sometimes they're not well behaved. The students themselves are not motivated. They do not have the interest. But once they get, you have to have it, to share it, to pass it on, so that in turn, they themselves will change their attitude and really want to learn.
In other news, the police here have arrested and charged Lorenzo McLean, a 24-year-old mechanic of Diamond, with the offense of motor vehicular manslaughter. According to the police, the accused, being the driver of motor vehicle P5849, allegedly caused the death of Josephine Robinson, a 45-year-old vendor of Diamond, as a result of his reckless driving. The incident occurred on the Stubbs Public Road about 12:30 p.m. on Tuesday, October 15th. McLean is expected to appear before the Serious Offences Court for an arraignment. Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Sabota Caesar, said there are tremendous benefits from the coconut industry and encouraged farmers to position themselves to take advantage of these opportunities. Minister Caesar was speaking on his site visit to the various stalls at the Agri Expo 2019 today at the decommissioned E.T. Joshua Airport at Annesville. As he visited the many stalls, the minister said he was pleased with the quality of the products on display. Bavin Oliver tells us more in this report.
The coconut has a wide range of health benefits. These include providing you with disease-fighting antioxidants, providing blood sugar regulation, and reducing certain risk factors for heart disease. The coconut has also tremendous value to the local agriculture sector, which is being highlighted through the various byproducts at the Agri-Vinci Expo 2019. Examining some of these products today was the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Sabota Caesar. Visiting the booth of the Caribbean Agriculture Research and Development Institute, CARDI, Minister Caesar said he is delighted by the growth of the coconut industry.
You know, the coconut industry in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is doing extremely well. We had assistance from the FAO. We also had assistance from the European Union, and we have technicians locally and also work from CARDI and AICA, and you should see the truckloads of coconut leaving St. Vincent and the Grenadines on a weekly basis. The truckloads heading towards Port Kingston, where they're packed into containers and transferred from Camden Park Port. And I'm really happy that coconut, waternut, is playing a very significant role in the diversification of agriculture in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. About 20-25 years ago, there was a significant input into extending the coconut farms in the country, and I know that we are benefiting today, and we are reaping a lot of that harvest.
The Agriculture Minister said the coconut industry is also doing well in the area of exports and agri-processing, and encouraged local farmers to embrace diversification with the coconut.
The coconut to the British Virgin Islands, to Antigua and to St. Kitts and Nevis, and I know that persons in Barbados also purchase a lot of our coconuts. There are also some agro-processors. They are involved in the bottling of coconut water, and a lot of it is sold on the local market. For example, I see one here, Little Knot Farm, and it came together with the assistance of the Ministry of Agriculture and the FAO. And I really want to wish all these companies the very best, and to encourage farmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that when you produce, you must ensure that on your farm you diversify your production. If you have 5 acres of, let's say, dasheen, you can fence that 5 acres with coconuts, and you can make a livelihood not only from the dasheen but also from the coconuts.
The lumber from coconut trees are generally regarded as a high-quality product for building and by extension creating livelihoods for persons. Minister Caesar said there is interest in this area, but careful management is key to ensure sustainability.
We have a lot of these trees available, and I can recall 2 companies came to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to actually produce timber material from these coconuts. They were successful to some extent, but there needs to be some more marketing, because you have to have a particular taste for it. And because of the methodologies which will be involved in harnessing it, it will not be at the same price as if you're going into Korea's lumber yard and you're purchasing, or you're going somewhere else to purchase your lumber. But it's going to create an opportunity. We have to, however, look at the issue of not damaging the aesthetics of the country, because you know that song that the children sang at the opening, that we have coconut and sugar cane and fine banana trees waving in the breeze. So you want to ensure that they continue to see these things and not to just go and devastate everything to me and turn it into lumber. So a careful management would have to take place, but there's definitely an opportunity for us to increase our production.
Agri-Vinci Expo 2019 is expected to run for another 2 days and has attracted the attention of many Vincentians who have been visiting the various booths to examine the elements of the agriculture industry. For SVG-TV's Evening News, I am Bavin Oliver.
Forestry Supervisor Casmus MacLeod is appealing to Vincentians, particularly hunters, to adhere to the laws regarding the hunting of wildlife. MacLeod made the appeal during an interview with our news team as he highlighted the work being done by the Forestry Services Department to protect the natural environment and the various wildlife species. We hear more in this report.
SVG has a wide variety of livestock, including various species of chickens, rabbits, sheep, goats, cattle, and pigs, which provide the country with a supply of meat and other byproducts for local consumption. There is also a wide variety of endemic species such as the manikou, agouti, iguana, and birds, which are considered delicacies to many. Unlike those which are domesticated, a hunting season is in place to help sustain these species. At a hut constructed by the Forestry Services Department to showcase their work at the Agri-Vinci Expo 2019, Forestry Supervisor Casmus MacLeod said some of the devices used for hunting is in contrary with the laws of SVG.
Hunting season persons tend to use certain devices to capture animals that are not in keeping with legislation or in keeping in the best interest of the animal. So what we're basically displaying here is some of these methods that are being used. And the injurious one versus the non-injurious one. So in terms of non-injurious, we have our traps, we have our nets, and in terms of injurious ones, we have like guns. And I know most persons will not know, but this slinging shot, which is a common thing, is actually referred under our legislation as a gun. And persons tend to use it. Sometimes you meet a lot of children with it, but this can do great harm to our wildlife. Okay, this would fall under non-injurious. We have the fishing rod. We have our grain, what we call our jig, our grain, and then we have our noose. We also have our blue pipe, right, which is another method.
MacLeod said while all forestry officers can enforce the laws, compliance among hunters is preferable.
Under these acts, forestry officers has the power to search, to seize, you know, to prosecute offenders under this act in terms of forest offences, in terms of things that you do to wildlife in and out of season. It also lends for the closed season, the open season and stuff like that. So this is basically what we do in terms of our law compliance. I mean, all forestry officers are law enforcement officers, but we have a specific unit that focuses ideally on getting persons to comply. We in forestry, we push the compliance rather than the enforcement, because we believe that if persons understand the consequences of their action, they tend to change their habits and practices as opposed to the bullying tactic. But then if persons doesn't desist from doing these things, well, obviously we have to move to the next result, which is that.
MacLeod said while the hunting season is now open, there are persons who are engaged in activities which are not in the best interest of the wildlife. He said discussions are taking place for them to do more to ensure the sustainability of these wildlife species.
Yes, in terms of catching iguanas, we in the forestry department, we encourage persons to stick with the mature iguanas. So as a result, we have our officers going around and looking at most of the catches for the hunters. We are advocating that you catch iguanas that are bigger than 14 inches in length, starting from the nose to between the two hind legs. So when you measure from between the two hind legs up to the nose, if it does not exceed 14 inches, then we confiscate them. But we basically in the process of discussion and reviewing in terms of legislation, where we would regulate even the amount of iguana that persons catch, because there's a concern now in the amount, because we don't have a regulation on the amount, people tend to catch any amount. And also even the adjustment of the season, because it, from feedback from most of the hunters, it would appear that even in January you would have iguanas and opossum with young ones. So we definitely have to continue our research and do some adjustment, because in all and all we are looking at the best interests of the organism, of the wildlife, and to ensure that sustainability is met.
All right. The hunting season for iguana and manikou was open from the 1st of this month and will end in January 2020. For SVG-TV's Evening News, I am Bavin Oliver.